this time on the Serve to Perform podcast.
The basis, but what I could do is I could perform and make sure that I did my part, and make some progress or make some difference. I think what that prompted me to do or to understand as I kind of started to introduce myself to this whole philosophy was how could I make a difference where I was with the tools that I had.
Welcome back to the Serve to Perform podcast. I'm your host, Delaney Osbourn, and today we're joined with a very special guest, Dr. Todd Kitchen. Todd, thank you so much for joining us.
I am so excited to be here. Thank you all so much for having me.
Of course, yeah. So we're going to start by just talking a little bit about you. You've been a champion for Serve to Perform since literally day one, so we're extremely grateful for you. And we want to know how you got involved and started with Serve to Perform in the first place.
Gosh, I think it all occurred. It was just very organic. I've known Dr. Arroyos. We worked together for just a bit in Northwest Arkansas Community College, and when I heard this methodology, the Serve to Perform methodology, it really resonated with me. The whole concept of how we could improve what we do in our business in the marketplace by engaging in service, serving others, using our gifts and our abilities to serve organizations in various ways. That was just very intriguing to me. So opportunities presented themselves. I had an opportunity to come and to do some consulting, and since then I have been sold. Now, don't tell Adam this. I would do this for free. It is so engaging and so fun.
Well, we're so thankful and grateful to have you on our team first off, because you bring a spark of energy and a spark of freshness every time we're able to do something like this with you. Anytime we're able to do a coaching or a training with you or anything in general, you're just amazing. And all of us always speak so highly of all of the things you've done for us internally, but also externally for our clients. So you mentioned the methodology. Let's talk a little bit about that and then how you have implemented that methodology into your life and your career.
Sure. Wow. Really, it kind of goes back to the very beginning. If I could think about starting to read the book and Serve to Perform, I remember drawing this conclusion with this whole philosophy of Grand Slam performance, right?
Yes.
So if we go back to the very beginning, I remember trying to be a baseball player and not being a very good baseball player. And I was never going to be the guy that would hit the grand slam, the person that would move everyone around the bases. But what I could do is I could perform and make sure that I did my part, and make some progress or make some difference. I think what that prompted me to do or to understand as I kind of started to introduce myself to this whole philosophy was how could I make a difference where I was with the tools that I had.
Yeah.
If you think about, we're all familiar with the personal relationship inventory and how we go back periodically and think about how we have folks that are advocates, some that are mentors and things of that nature. I started doing this in my professional life in just my skill set.
Yeah.
Looking at my resume, looking at my Vita, looking at my skill set, and noticing that there were some certain areas that I could be a little bit better at, but then at the same time realizing what my strengths were and how those pulled me into certain opportunities for service. So I really want to jump into this piece because it really resonated with me just very quickly. I had to take my time and be selective in finding an opportunity to serve outside of what I do on a full-time basis.
Yeah.
And what I determined to be the key was I had to find something that I was passionate about.
Yes.
I'm passionate about people. There are hundreds of thousands of definitions on leadership. If I give you Todd Kitchen's definition of leadership, it's connecting people to information, resources, and opportunities to maximize their potential.
Yeah.
So what I was looking for was an opportunity to strengthen my skill set and serve with an organization that was going to do the same thing, that was going to connect people to information, resources, and opportunities that maximize their potential. So I just happened upon this opportunity to serve with this local nonprofit that does tremendous work. I mean, they absolutely do great things to help pull people out of poverty and to give them access to higher education here in Northwest Arkansas. Had no idea along the way that as I was doing this, that eventually this nonprofit would make the decision to merge with another nonprofit that had a similar mission. So what did this now do? I'm serving on the board, I'm doing great work, and I'm learning. Now I'm exposed to different aspects of the business that I've never considered before.
Yeah.
So now I'm exposed to more of a financial piece. Now I'm exposed, to more of the legal piece and things of that nature that went into bringing these two great organizations together. Not only did I have those exposures, one of the things in doing my own inventory that I felt I really lacked experience with doing was anything related to fundraising.
Okay.
And this was always kind of this hole that was out there. Well, lo and behold, I'm given this great opportunity to shoot a short video that serves as the ask for this nonprofit in their fundraising work. So now what's happened? Now I have strengthened my skill set. I've plugged a gap, if you would. I've become a better employee asset to my organization because I've been serving on a board that gave me opportunities and exposure that I would have never otherwise had.
Yeah. And without that implementation of the methodology, you wouldn't have been involved with that nonprofit that then merged with the other nonprofit and be where you are today.
Absolutely.
And so having the methodology, right? That's the testimony part of this. Having that methodology to kind of base what you do and how you do it and how to serve the appropriate way was probably huge for your career, if I'm speaking for you.
It was very important, and it is huge. And you said something to Delaney that's very important. You have the methodology. You have to use the methodology as a template.
Yeah.
You have to wake up every day and say, how can I serve to perform?
Yeah.
Where can I serve to perform? How can I accelerate my service by performing in this area or things of that nature? So it's one thing to have the methodology. It has to be a template. It has to be a lens that you look through every day. That's the way that we get better. And as we get better, the organizations that we are a part of get better.
Naturally, right? Naturally they will. When you bring your best self to work, your best self will ultimately lift up your team and make the organization you're involved with better every single day.
Absolutely.
So if there is somebody out there watching or listening that is it where you were before you started the methodology process with SERVE2PERFORM and learning and really learning truly how to serve, what would be your best piece of advice for them?
Learning truly how to serve. My best advice would be find a way to serve authentically.
Yeah.
Find a way to serve genuinely, and then pay attention for opportunities within that service to grow and to serve in a way that you've never served before.
I love that. And that's very important, right? New and fresh environments are very important for us as individuals, but also important for our career.
Absolutely.
Just like you've continued to make new advancements and continued to move on in your career, it's important to continue to challenge yourself to do that along the way as well.
It really is. I'm a higher education administrator by trade, and just in thinking about next career moves and the potential and the future and things of that nature, I had a huge gap in my resume.
Yeah.
All things that had to do with fundraising. That was a gap for me. But through service in the nonprofit sector, I've closed that gap and now have, again, strengthened my skill set to better prepare myself for what the future may present for Todd Kitchen.
Todd, thank you so much for joining us today. We're so thankful for your insights. We're so thankful for your leadership that you continue to possess in the community, but also with us specifically here with SERVE2PERFORM. We hope to have you back on some more important topics later, but we thank you so much for your time.
It is always my pleasure, and I look forward to the next time.